What's going on YouTube? Thanks for joining the channel. About a year and a half ago when I had my Iron 883, I bought a tank cover from Simon Customs and I did a review on it. I gave them as objective of a review that I could, and it wasn't a really favorable one. I wanted to do an updated review because they sent me an updated cover for my 48. When I first did the review, I remember they commented on the review and said, hey, thanks for your objective review. We're going to take all these points into consideration and use it to refine our tank covers. And lo and behold, they sent me the updated cover for my 48. So I wanted to share those thoughts and impressions with you guys. In the end, we'll talk about, has it really improved? Here is the tank cover that they sent me. Of course, we'll get out on the bike and see what this looks like on the 48. But I wanted to talk about some of the issues that I had with their 1.0 and has it been addressed. So the first thing that I wanted to address was just the paint. If you watch the first video, I just mentioned how easily the paint would just chip and scratch. I had like a couple of pretty huge gashes on the tank cover. I get that if you strike something on the tank or like hit it kind of hard that it would scratch, but it was like a pretty huge gash. And I was like, that doesn't seem right, And I don't know how to describe it, but the paint just looked really thin. That was like one of my biggest issues. I remember when I first put on the tank cover on my Iron 83, within that first week, I had multiple scratches, gashes, whatever you want to call them. And you have to really baby that thing. With their second version that I just got, I'm happy to report that right away, just, unboxing it, you could tell that the paint, I don't know what it is, it just looks better and it feels better. There's no paint swirls happening. I fitted it onto my tank, took it off and took it around for a ride. And it still looks like as it was when I received it. With the tank cover in hand, you could just tell like it looks like a more refined product. I don't see any scratches at all whatsoever on this tank cover. It just feels sturdier. I don't know how to describe it. So Simon Customs, if you're watching this video, let me know what you did to improve the paint, but it looks pretty solid. I remember when I first did the video, I said, this looks like a garage job, somebody from a garage kind of like making these products. You can kind of tell, right? It has like this homemade feel to it. But this actually looks like it came off an assembly line somewhere. So it looks really good. So that was my first main concern, was the paint getting all scratched up. Happy to report that this has held up. This tank cover has held up in the last 1 or 2 weeks. The second point that I wanted to address was just this gas cap hole over here. I remember when I first got the tank cover, I put it on and I screwed on my gas cap and I put it on pretty tight. And I was like, this feels a little too tight. And so when I unscrewed the gas cap, I just remember seeing all the scratches on the paint. Again, it's very similar, but immediately on day one, I had scratches all around the gas cap, right? With this, you can see that there's a little bit more of a recess, and I'm happy to report that this helps with the fitment issue on the gas cap with the tank cover. Again, second issue that I had on the tank cover, completely resolved. That's 2 for 2 that they got right. The last issue that I had with the Simon Customs tank cover was, when you looked at the inside, the way that the interior was fitted onto the shell, it looked a little sloppy in my opinion, right? Like the edges were fraying, the interior looked really thin. And now that I'm taking a look at it with their 2.0, like you can't really tell from this particular shot that there's a lot more padding in the interior. So again, this will help prevent your tank from getting scratches or anything like that. It's really soft. It's got a nice material. Like it feels better than the material from before. And the edges, even though they aren't perfect, it has improved. I could see a much cleaner line. There's no fraying. So I don't know exactly what they did to improve their manufacturing process, but it looks really good. So those 3 were the main concerns that I had, and it looks like Simon Customs basically addressed them all. So shout out to you, Simon Customs, for really taking in the feedback from my video, just a random YouTuber, and really incorporating that into your products to make it better for the next line of consumers, right? I also wanted to give Simon Customs a shout out, not only in terms of like improved design, but in terms of how they've made improvements overall, like to the design and the aesthetics of the tank covers. Like, look at this. There's definitely a two-tone happening here with a gloss and like a matte black finish, and it's got little fins here. It's overall, it just looks really, really good. I know that I received this tank cover for free. So I'll just say that, and that could potentially bias my opinion. But knowing how like disappointed I was with the first tank cover and how much it improved with this new iteration, I'm completely blown away. Honestly, this should have been the first product that I received. If I paid $300 today for this now and this is what I got, I'd be really happy with it, honestly. So that's enough of me yapping. Let's get out onto the bike and take a look at it. All right, so we are off the bike. Here is the Simon Customs tank installed. I'm actually doing this on my phone because I forgot to install an SD card on my GoPro. These things happen when you don't motovlog as much or as frequently. But here is the Simon Customs tank. Let me know what you all think. And this is my gas cap. It is a flush mount gas cap, so I thought about getting a different one, but I think it kind of looks good this way. Here's another shot of the 48. Go around to the side, the back view. Getting a little close-up of the fins. And so you can see this part at the top of the gas tank is a gloss finish. And then you have this two-tone, this matte finish right here on the side. I think it looks really nice. If you all remember, I do have like this big bulky HD badge on the side of my gas tank. And so I was a little worried that it wouldn't fit, but sure enough, it does fit really nicely. It fits nice and snug. I double checked to make sure that it didn't scratch anything and everything looks good to go. So no scratches on the tank. And you know, this is a nice little protective cover for your gas tank. All in all, I think it looks really good. I don't see any scratches. Like the finish is really nice and smooth. Everything looks top notch. I can't find a single thing to complain about in this go around. So yeah, like I said, finish looks really good. The quality looks really good. The padding has been improved, or the interior lining inside has been improved. So not a whole lot for me to complain about. You know, like I said, I think for about $250 to $300, it is definitely worth considering. Now you might be asking me, well, why don't you just get a new tank for your 48? Because it's probably about the same cost. There's a lot of different reasons for that. One, you know, I don't want to go through the hassle of removing my old gas tank and putting on a new gas tank. The cover is just a really simple, easy way to kind of get that same desired effect, right? So getting a different look on your tank real quick in about, honestly, like in 10 seconds. And so that's reason number one. Reason number two, if I wanted to change this look, that's the reason why I got it the first time around. If I want to change this look, I can go ahead and plasti dip it or spray paint it, and without feeling any guilt, right? Like, because it's just a cover and not a real tank, I feel like I can be a little bit more creative on this. But again, this is the look. I really do like the fins on it. I think it kind of gives it a little pop. So yeah, I'm extremely pleased with it, guys. You know, I wouldn't hesitate recommending the Simon Customs cover. If any of you want to pick one up for yourself, just reach out to them on Instagram. Really cool guys, very, very easy to work with. They'll get you set up right, and they'll make sure that you're happy with the cover that you get. All right, so I'm gonna take a few photos and videos to send to Simon Customs. They've been so kind and generous, but reach out to them if you're interested. They have a lot of cool different designs for the 48, not just this one. They also have a lot of different designs coming out for Harleys, right? So I saw that they have a tank cover for like the Dyna Street Bob and some other models. And so those would be worth considering as well if you have other different bikes. All right, so I'm gonna get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, I'll see you later. Peace.